Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Blue Collar Restaurant in Miami.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Bifo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim fram sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition and another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We are down south. In my world, it's down south. We're in the 305. We're back at Blue Collar Restaurant. Chef Danny Serfer, you know him from the matzo ball judging competition. I'm still in shock over that one, Danny, but we'll let that go. Mike Lubie is on the mixing board.
Hello.
Blue Collar is at 6789. The easiest 6789 Biscayne Boulevard. It's an easy address to remember because it's a straight. It's 6789. So when I think of Blue Collar, I think 6789 Biscayne Boulevard. It's right across from where it used to be. It's in New Digs. They have a full bar, full liquor, and I love to start off a work week with a old fashioned here because you've got summer specials brewing, including.
Oh, yeah.
Happy hour drinks every day. How are you, Danny?
I'm doing all right. Recovering from a long weekend with the kids and getting my mind right for the kids to be out of school for the summer.
What are they doing for the summer? What do you do with them?
Yeah, there's 4 kids. There's like
four.
You have 4 kids.
You had 4?
I have 4. I have
You have
twins. That
4
surprise
kids.
Let me
twins
put
at
the
the end.
mic up. There
Oh,
we go.
you were going to have 3, but it was twins.
I was going to have 2, but my
Oh.
wife hoodwinked me into making 3, and then that 3 turned into 4. So 4 kids. I guess there's like 4 different summer camps in 4 different directions.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One's doing like a variety camp. One's doing gymnastics. One's doing art. One's gonna like do 1 week of camp somewhere. 1 week working with me here. It's a whole.
you know, Lubie is an expectant dad. He's announced that he's having his
mazel
first
tov.
My
kid.
first baby boy.
It's a boy. He's not revealing the name, and but he. Do you have any advice for him as a first-time father?
I do.
He's stressing me out. looking
No.
at his face.
This one is really good because it's your first one, so you're probably like having all kinds of like fear and
Yes,
things like that.
Anxiety is high. Yes.
I'll tell you, the first one that we had, he's 11 now, and I was super nervous. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was in the hospital once he was delivered, and the nurse that delivered him, she said, I was holding him, and I was all scared and nervous. She's like, "Don't worry about it. It's not a piece of china. Even if you drop him, he won't break.
Oh, jeez.
So don't worry about it. He's not going to break if you drop him, and you probably will drop him.
Just clean him, feed him, clean him, change the diapers every now and then, and you'll be fine. I always remember, he was a little bit, before they had the gender reveal party, he didn't know what it was going to be. And I thought it was going to be, I just saw him as a girl dad, but he is going to have a masculine child as his first child.
Well, you're a girl dad, and I have one daughter, and daughters are just so special.
They're very special, but you know what? I remember something that Dan Marino said when I covered sports, and he was in the locker room, and his wife, Claire, at that point was about to give birth, I think for the 3rd time.
Well, this is forever ago.
And this is forever ago. This is how old I am, Danny.
Oh,
this
my
is why
God.
this beard is very gray. But we were saying, so, Danny, you rooting for the girl? He goes, no, I want another boy. We were like, why? He goes, well, when you have a boy, you only have to worry about 1 pickle. And if you have a girl, you have to worry about 2 million of them. So anyway, that is, and then you know what? His wife got revenge on him because after all the, Clara gave birth to all boys, but then she started adopting all girls from China.
Oh,
So
geez.
like has another 3 kids.
I would also say have another one with boy or girl as soon as you can.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Before
I'm in my
she
early
leaves
40s.
you,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
what
Yeah,
happened.
like-
we never had the second one. We just
There you
Like
go.
2
we
is
were one and done.
once they're like my boy and my girl are like 18 months apart,
Yeah.
and once they were 1 in like 6 months or whatever it is, however the math works out, they were like best buddies, and it actually gave my wife and I some relief because they could like hang out, and my wife and I could have some like time.
Torture each other
breathe.
instead of torturing
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, so that is actually really great. Our friends that only have like one kid, it seems more
Oh,
rough
no,
for them.
the goal is to have two. She's wanted more, and I look because my sister has her husband had two from a previous marriage, and they've been around since they were little, so they're like her own. And then they had two, so they have 4 kids like you, and it stresses me out. So I've
No,
told
4
her,
is
I'm
way
like,
too
look,
many.
two,
4
and we came from 3.
You
So
have to have a restaurant
two's
empire
enough.
in order to
Yeah, I was
afford
gonna say now I
kids.
know why you have 12 restaurants.
No, that's not true. I don't know what you need to do to afford 4 kids, but it's not restaurant.
Win the lottery.
Probably the lottery.
Yeah. But I
So the goal is 2,
the goal is to.
and I'm in my 40s,
I-
so we're gonna do it quicker than longer.
Okay.
I feel very guilty now because my daughter is an only child. My mom was an only child, and she turned that all messed up. But no, no. God rest in peace, Mom. I am a terrible,
going after
terrible
her?
son.
From the grave.
But my daughter, at some points, I feel guilty that she doesn't have that, sibling,
sibling, yeah.
playmate, whatever, somebody that she feels a kinship with. But on the other hand, I could barely afford one, and she is the most spoiled child in the world, and she got everything because when
She
you do
was
have
right
one,
on.
you can give her everything. So that's it. So let's get into the summertime is here. Well, speaking of fatherhood, Father's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
Do you do anything special at any of your restaurants? And it's not just Blue Collar that you have. You also have Mignonette downtown, and now you're involved with. You created the kitchen program for your friend Jonathan up at 26 Degrees
She's
Brewing,
fantastic.
and
Oh,
we
thank you.
got to have a nice show
That was great.
with him and the chef Fergus.
Yeah.
And we had some really good stuff.
I really like the hand pie there.
Yeah,
the lamb hand pie.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
the lamb pie was fantastic. Things are going well up there so far.
Yeah, it's growing. People are coming in and starting to check it out more for food instead of and not just beer. So we're happy with how that's going. I think the food is being executed well. So I'm happy to have my name associated with that.
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But for Father's Day, I've been trying to do Father's Day stuff to get people in the door since my time at Chef Allen's. This is almost 20 years ago now. And I had this really great idea there once that I thought was going to just like light the world on fire. And we're going to make Father's Day as busy as Mother's Day. So we had all these steak, like loins. So we had like a strip loin, a ribeye, and filet. And the idea was the father would come into the kitchen and pick the size of the steak he wants and cut however lot, and
cut
then we
your
weigh,
own.
and then we
butcher
weigh
your
it,
own
and
steak, yeah.
and it brought in about 3 people.
Oh no.
And we've tried doing Father's Day stuff here and at Mignonette, and you know what? We're dads. No one cares.
I know we're supposed to be the ones sweating over a grill, and nobody wants to reward us or take us out to dinner or stuff like that. Do you grill at home, or do you make it a family day, or
So for Mother's Day, what I did this year is I give my wife the day off. So I make breakfast for everyone, and then I take the kids and let her just enjoy time to herself. This year, I think she went to movie and dinner by herself, and then when all the kids were home, I took care of getting them dressed, bed, all that. So she got to take off. For me, since I'm here at the restaurants a lot, I don't get as much time with the kids. I like to spend it with them, and we will probably just do like a brunch at the house, bagels and schmears. I don't really grill that much at home because I don't love grilled stuff that much.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I'm a cast iron man.
huh?
For
Interesting.
whatever, any kind of protein, I would prefer it in cast iron. The exception where I do like actually grilled flavor is on certain vegetables and seafood.
Okay.
But I will still take the char on cast iron, and I have so many cast iron pans at my home, and I use the shit out of them.
How do you prepare the burgers here? Is that on?
Here we grill it.
You do
Okay.
grill it.
Here we
okay.
grill it, and when I'm here and I eat a
For the
burger, I love it.
masses.
Yeah, and people like it. It's just me. I love the caramelization you get from cooking stuff in cast iron. That unbelievable crust. I'll take that over the smokiness any day.
Yeah, I got that. I do love a good cast iron
Oh, no,
skillet
it's
cooked
a great
burger. So, all right, Father's Day, you will be open here,
Yes.
and
Oh, yeah.
all restaurants.
The restaurants will be open. We'll have our normal great brunch that we have. All the eggs and pancakes, plus the burgers, the sandwiches. the oxtails, everything we do at brunch. Normally, we're going to do for Father's Day. We're not making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should think of something. Maybe you know,
I
what?
don't know.
You know,
Some
if you come in
places-
and you're your dad, you want a free shot. We got
Some
you.
places we know if a father comes in with their son, or maybe with a sonogram that is going to
Have child
proving
leave.
that they are about to become a father, they give away either like a draft beer or an old fashioned. I don't know if you want to be so magnanimous, but you know, there's ways to kind of maybe induce.
Yeah.
But
I'll talk to Adam about it, our general manager, and just, you know, if you come in, you're a dad, and get a drink on us.
and that sounds like a reasonable thing. Much better than a tie. I'd rather have
I haven't worn a
something
tie.
that's more practical.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for those in recovery, maybe send out a locker or something like that. I don't know.
We got a
It's,
soft drink or whatever.
hey, but you were talking about you ran a special. 3 people showed up. I want to just something that was very heartening to me, because we came in here. Was it 2 months ago? It was April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Wow.
And when I posted our schedule for this month on the Let's Eat group of that where we're going to be for the lunchbox, actually had a comment. Ruth Cooper said, "I love the burgers at Blue Collar. After watching Danny announce BOGO Tuesday burgers on the Matzo Ball Cook-Off show, we went down there, went to Blue
Nice.
Collar, and it was her first time at the new space. Really great improvement," she says. "Wish him luck in getting more locals in there, and you know that hopefully during the summertime, that's what you're trying to do now with all these specials." And so thank you, Ruth, for actually
it's
coming
great.
in and checking
love
it
it.
out.
Yeah, as Lubie will find out, and I'm sure you know, the summer is one of the more expensive times when you have children,
No,
especially as they
camping
get
is
older. Yeah, camp is expensive, and you know, as a restaurant owner, things get slower, so things are getting more expensive for the kids with activities, and like weekends, you want to take them like theme parks or water parks. Less money's coming in, but more money needs to go out. So we are trying to run some, you know, things that are pretty good for the locals or anyone at Blue Collar, where we have all summer long, all June and July, buy one get one sandwiches, and we have a few coming out shortly. So all lunch, 12 to 5, Monday through Friday. Any sandwich you buy, you get the second one free.
So I guess it behooves you to come in with a friend or a spouse
Yeah,
or a
'cause the sandwiches
kid,
are nice.
and you can again manja on 2 for the price of 1.
Yep.
And that sounds like a really good deal, especially for those who have family units and can come in, and it's good for multiple. So if you come with 4 people,
Can you get
get
buy
2
two,
BOGOs.
get 2 free?
Yeah, up to I think we did up to 12 people.
12. I thought it was
So you buy 6,
wow.
get 6 free.
That
It's-
is
it's good with that.
That's legit.
that is quite the inducement, and that's good for all the sandwiches, including the burger. Anything?
Yep, anything in the sandwich section. So
All right, he's
that would
got a
include the
menu
burger,
here. It says
the Philly
sandwiches.
cheesesteak,
Oh, nice.
and the duck confit quesadilla.
Oh, and the quesadilla too. Nice.
And that is going from when? Starting right now?
Right now till the end of July, and then we'll see.
And then you get into Miami Spice season,
Exactly.
right?
in
So-
spice we do, I think, the best spice menu at anyone, because it's like spice your way. Any app, any entree, any dessert.
And that's for the lunch and dinner has different pricing
Yeah, I think
structure.
lunch is like, I don't know, 29, and dinner is like 40,
40,
I don't know.
45.
I don't know where they had it at.
Yeah.
Now.
but
Give me
you-
one moment. Let me.
Okay.
let me see what
Yeah,
You get to seat these people. Yeah, they've got a whole big party came in now, which is always fun. And Lubie, let's talk a little bit about. Okay, first of all,
the beard.
I can't stand it anymore.
I'm itching looking at you.
Here's the
Is
thing.
it still itch, or when it gets to a certain point, it
I
stops
didn't.
itching?
It stopped itching.
Okay,
it's
so that's
just
good.
it
At least-
feels furry and weird now. Like now when I'm eating, I
Oh,
could
something really
feel
gets
like
stuck in it.
the little caterpillar down here. It's like it's brushing up against my food. I was at Tom T's. He did a pop up yesterday up in Boynton Beach at Pigsty Barbecue, and I'm like eating his red beans and rice, and then I feel like some of the red beans are like brushing up against the caterpillar. All I know is this, Lubie. At this point, I don't give a crap who wins.
Just
I want her
finish the
over in
season.
4. I want to sweep so that I could just get this GD thing off my
I know.
face. And I'm weird though, because I am superstitious. Part of me is actually rooting for Edmonton now. I think that. Okay, you give me a look. I am a Panthers fan.
You walked in
I
the
know
middle.
it's very hard to go 3 times in a row, which they've done to the finals, and now they're trying to repeat, and that's very hard. But I feel sorry for the people of Canada,
feel
especially
sorry.
the people of Edmonton, because if you're in Edmonton First of all, what are you surrounded by? It's like oil fields. It's miserable up there. And Canada, the whole country has not won a Stanley Cup since what year?
It's
93.
93, the Canadians.
The Canadians. So we're
Good.
talking 32 years.
He said good.
Good.
He said
What do you
good.
got against
He
Canadians?
said good.
Don't they support your restaurants? Not
He's
enough.
like, not really.
No, look, I went to summer camp in Toronto one year actually, with some friends from Toronto that I was going to middle school with, and when I went to college in Vermont, we would go and party in Montreal all the time because you can party there at 18 instead of 21.
Right.
But I'm an American, and it's fucking awesome that we are owning a
Their
sport that we
sport.
did. Yeah,
Not just owning a sport
We
that they
hate
am
the sport.
totally like rabid and passionate about,
Yeah.
but with teams that have just sprouted up out of the the Everglades,
Everglades. I was
and
gonna say
the Gulf of
swamp.
America,
Yeah.
and Tampa Bay has won, Florida has won,
Yeah.
Dallas has won.
Yeah.
Who else
Carolina
won?
has a title in the early
Carolina has won.
2000s.
All these teams
These
from the
southern
Sun
teams.
Belt who have
Well,
no business.
when I think about it, though, for us, it makes sense because, there's a lot of Eastern Europeans on the team, and Sunny Isles is full of
Oh
Eastern
yeah,
Europeans.
yes.
So, it makes sense that we are crushing that sport, and I'm okay with it.
And speaking of Eastern Europeans and our Ashkenazi background, potato latkes have
Oh
arrived.
yeah,
I love these potato
No, they're
latkes, and you
fantastic.
serve them two ways. I mean, with two dipping sauces.
so we serve our latke. We make latkes every day. They're not just for Hanukkah or Passover, and ours are actually gluten free. We have a little trick that we use that we don't need any gluten. We serve it with homemade applesauce, which is very challenging to make because it's involves peeling 50 pounds of apples and cooking them down for 2 days.
No,
Wow.
jeez.
And then sour cream, which we don't make, we just buy.
Okay.
But it's a it's
Can
a
I-
homemade applesauce.
Yeah, for sure. It
It's
always
ridiculous.
has been ever since day one.
It's ridiculous.
It almost looks like a chorosa, as we're going to
Oh,
talk
Well, it
about
looks like a
yeah.
thicker,
the
sweeter
Passover
Harosa.
plate. I'm going to go in and just kind of take a little, because I got to tell you, I'm usually a savory guy, and I love my latkes with sour cream, or I've gotten really fancy. I do with creme fraiche and then either caviar or smoked salmon on my latkes now because I'm an aristocrat, Danny.
We have the latkes served a second way here, where it's with smoked creme fraiche and smoked trout roe,
No,
Mm.
wow.
and we also have caviar available.
Oh, wow.
No, jeez.
Meanwhile, that applesauce is outstanding, but I'm still going to put a little bit of the sour cream on it and take one bite.
Yeah, let me grab this menu.
Nobody knows the rules. Oh, my God.
Isn't that crunch?
Oh,
Thank
such
you.
a good, that is a great latke, my friend.
It's good.
This is one of the reasons why I love Blue Collar.
Danny's surprised. He's looking at it like, did I order that?
No, I thought I saw a mushroom on there, and I was going to lose my shit.
Oh, you don't like mushrooms?
Not on a cheesesteak.
See, I don't. I'm weird.
Why not?
I do like mushrooms.
No.
Mushrooms and grilled onions. I'm weird.
Onions, cheesesteak,
No.
cheese, onions, meat.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Interesting.
Really?
Get
All
that-
right.
He's
He
very
Get
like
the F out of here.
He has rules
Specific
like I
about
have
things.
rules.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to cut off
he's very
my
specific about things.
my cooties
Yeah, I
on here.
like it with
This
the
is
mushrooms.
yours.
I think mushrooms are nice.
I think on a cheesesteak you can
Especially
give
on
me
a cheesesteak.
onions, mushrooms, and I love the hot cherry peppers.
And people
on
like
there, too.
peppers. I'm not a big
serve
peppers
it,
guy.
We serve it with the hot cherry peppers.
Oh, that's on the side. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
and
That's
that-
proper. And of course, the
Oh.
world's greatest French fries
Your
right
fries
here,
are ridiculous.
which are, I just shot up and juiced this morning, and I shouldn't be eating all this fried food, but I can't resist because it's so freaking good.
yeah.
I
Hand cut.
mean,
Hmm.
I'm in the same boat as you with the Ozempic. My shot is Thursday, so I'm ready to chow.
Okay.
This
So you get ready
one-
today.
This is
our-
it. This is my favorite thing.
This
What
is
is
Old
this? I don't think I've
Faithful.
ever had this.
Well, I'm not.
Old Faithful. That's our big ragu sandwich.
Ooh.
It's
So that's
basically-
like a Sunday gravy inside of a
God.
seeded roll, topped with
jeez.
cheese and baked.
Oh my god,
And it's like, you know what?
that's hefty.
That's about the size. It's gonna be what this is what your baby's gonna weigh.
It's bigger than my head.
So that's part of the special. We have our buy one get one, and includes the ragu, the cheesesteak, the burger, and this is a new addition since we moved across.
Ooh, buffalo chicken.
This is a buffalo chicken sandwich, which I tried to make very much. This place I worked at in Tallahassee called Po' Boy's Creole
Po'
Cafe.
Boys.
Yeah,
Po'
we
Boys
all
was
know
so
Po' Boy.
great.
It's no longer
Love
there.
them.
They're
Po'
not
Boys
talked
isn't
about
there
it.
anymore.
It's not there anymore.
We discussed this
I
2
know,
months
I know,
ago.
but every
It's
time
no
Po' Boys
longer
was
there.
so great. They
Was it
had
on
great
College
Po' Boys.
Avenue?
They had
Yeah.
legit
There was
Po'
two.
Boys.
There was one in College Avenue and one downtown.
There are no more po' boys.
No.
because this is a
Po' Boys
country
was-
for the wealthy now. So we got to get
Po'
rid of
Boys
the po'
was
boys.
Well, so-
fantastic.
The way they did theirs is just like buffalo chicken tenders, Swiss cheese, and blue cheese dressing. on a French roll. We don't do it on a French roll. We do it on a Portuguese muffin. And I tried to recreate that as faithfully as possible.
Nice.
And I think we did a good job.
An homage to your early years. Did Guthrie's ever have a po' boy or sandwich, or was just strictly
Just chicken
No,
tenders.
I loved Guthrie's. And you want to know the best part about Guthrie's? We had this friend, and he worked at Guthrie's for a while.
Oh,
So
that's
when-
a hookup.
So when we would get out of the club at
Oh
the
my
bar
God.
at 2 a.m. and the line to Guthrie's would be
Place
4
was
blocks line,
nuts. Yeah.
Right.
we would just pull right in, and he would run inside. and get our
Really?
Stuff. That is
Oh,
like
that's a win.
that is like Joe Stonecrab level juice.
Yeah.
When you can cut the line to Guthrie's in Tallahassee,
at 2 a.m?
yeah, it
No,
might
late
it might
night-
be better than being able to cut the line to Joe's.
Back then, when you were drinking, did they have these all-you-can-drink nights? Because
yeah.
my daughter,
in Tallahassee.
You
Yeah.
think I remember?
that
I mean, I drank all I could every night.
oh god,
was very much what I did from my wife, because she didn't like party in college. She worked really hard, and I did well in school, but I was in college at FSU. So like literally now grad school, it wasn't like this, but freshman year because I didn't have a fake. So we would go to the under 21 club. So I would go out from Wednesday through Saturday, freshman year through junior year. When I turned 21, from junior year to senior year, I was going out literally
Every night.
Sunday
Every
through
night.
Saturday. Like every single day we would go out. So
One of our jams was Late Night Library.
late night library. Good for
That's
you.
the name of our fantasy football league, and it has been for 15 years.
so
Like
I don't
library,
want to
wow.
know what my daughter does. All I know that she has a fake ID, she has used it, and she. I see these charges on my credit card, or it comes out of her bank account, like $10 for, I don't know what the hotspot is now, but it's like, how can you stay in business if you have $10 all-you-can-drink special?
Because the place is jamming. like
It's jamming, and they use pop-off vodka.
Chubby's. There was a bunch
finest-
of places we used to go to, and they would do like, you can there was a place that was $5 all you can drink on Thursdays, and that place would be loaded. Like the rent's cheap and insurance
Yeah.
isn't. It's like a whole different.
Your
Dang,
biggest
like-
expense is probably insurance. So
But boy, have you been up there lately?
the only time I ever went back to Tallahassee was to finish my probation back in 2000
Oh my God, dude.
Wait,
in 2004.
You really did do
I
it
didn't want
in
to
a
hear
level
about
I
all
thought I
this.
did and didn't.
The thing about
Because
Tallahassee,
you wouldn't recognize it. I mean, everything has been built
No, they
up.
built it up a
built
lot.
up this
That's what
thing
I
called
heard.
College Town. They have all these,
That-
high-rise apartments and hotels and restaurants, and everything around the stadium has gotten infilled with
Gaines, yeah,
development.
they built up Gaines, which was like
Gaines.
nothing before.
and-
the best restaurant when I was there, and my favorite place, and where I first ever had shrimp and grits, is called Cypress.
oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
And
that.
they recently closed, like shortly after during the pandemic, and that's where I went for graduation. And whenever I had saved up some money, I loved that place. It was so good.
There's a couple of these. First of all, I miss dearly, besides Cyprus, which I've been to and I liked.
I didn't even.
But there was a place called the Silver Slipper.
I was
and
gonna
it-
say Silver Slipper.
Of course.
That's
This-
where all the senators and that's
Yeah,
where all the
it's-
Congress people.
they
go.
had the
private little booths.
They
so
had
you
the
can get
curtains.
handies.
It was like the Agatha
They didn't even
Christie Orient
hide what was
Express.
going on at that place.
And whenever deals were going down and palms were being
Yep,
greased,
yep.
the curtains would be drawn closed.
I interned in the Capitol for Senator Stephen Geller, who was one of the longest tenured state senators.
You worked
Geller
For
for 2
Stephen
years.
Geller?
Yeah, for 2 years. Yeah.
The funniest thing is, I remember this when I became
And
a news.
would go in and out of that office, and I was like, oh, they don't give a crap about like all the stuff we talk about. Like you would have you would have all these people kissing his ring, and it was like either side.
So here's the funniest thing. I remember when I jumped from sports to news, and I became a news columnist. And back when papers had money, I would spend like 2 or 3 weeks a year in Tallahassee during session.
Yep, yep.
Usually the first week of session, and then the last 2
week, yep,
weeks.
yep.
And I remember I got shown around by, at the time, the Sun Sentinel's bureau chief was named Linda Kleindienst.
Okay.
And walking down the street is Steve Geller, and
He's a big
she
dude.
introduces me to Steve because at that point, he was up there, and I hadn't met all the local politicians. And after we got done introducing each other, and then as we're walking away, Linda goes, "Doesn't he look exactly like the Monopoly man?"
Yeah.
He's like
Really, he's
a
a
big fat
big
guy
dude.
with
He's a
that
big dude.
mustache,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like carrying his little briefcase around, which I wouldn't
100%.
ask. Steve was a, he was a clean guy.
From what I know, yeah, no. But it was just interesting because you would have all these wars in front of cameras, but behind the scenes, like literally, he would shoot the crap with like people that I would be disgusted by. They would just be sitting there having a drink, hanging out.
Steve was a great schmoozer, and he's worked the whole circuit. I think he's hit for like the political slam because he's been a state rep, state senator.
The
Then
mayor.
he's, you get term limited out. So now he's gone back to the county
Local,
level,
yeah.
and he was like county commissioner, and I think he was mayor of Broward at one point.
Yep.
But
All right, I think I've seen the name.
yeah.
You want me to get a knife so we can cut into this stuff?
yeah, or I was going to do a big bite, but I do want Lubie to
Yeah,
have some of
I
the
want to
big
try the
ragu.
big
Yeah,
ragu.
I mean,
That looks
We'll
utterly
get a
ridiculous.
knife. Let's take our first break, and then we'll come back with more of these delicious BOGO summer special sandwiches and more from Blue Collar in Miami after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa d'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa d'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices, served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're at Blue Collar Restaurant, 6789 Biscayne Boulevard in Miami. We're with Chef Danny Serfer. He not only has Blue Collar, he has Mignonette, which is closer downtown to the Arts Center. Very great if you're going to go see a show downtown. Great seafood, fresh seafood, Michelin Guide recommended. And, of course, he's now involved. He created a great new food menu for the new kitchen at 26 Degrees Brewing up in Pompano Beach. That's at 2600 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano. And we've been reminiscing about his time in Tallahassee, how he used to, go to some restaurants. And you were saying the Silver Slipper, which is no longer there, but it was like a classic old school steakhouse. And you said it reminded you of Tropical Acres.
Yep.
Yeah, that old Florida vibe. They even had like the meat display.
Yep.
You know,
And we love Tropical Acres. They're one of our great longtime sponsors. And we're going to be doing a show there with Jack Studiali and his sons Joe, and Jackson will be on hand. That's Wednesday. Not sure of the starting time. Could be either noon or 1 o'clock. Looking forward to getting in there. They took an unfair pounding over the weekend on the Let's Eat group. And
did they?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, my dad was saying something about Tropical Acres, and I
So
didn't see it.
it's so funny because, somebody went in there and said for the first time since he's lived here for 12 years, he sat at the bar, and the experience he described sounds nothing like the protocol of what should happen at Tropical Acres. The guy said he ordered something, and first of all, he said, a shrimp cocktail showed up in front of him that he never ordered. And it was like, well, okay, that could be a mistake by the bartender. You just say, that's not mine. Food runner brought it to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't
That's a quibble.
why would you even mark that?
But then he said, and then, he ordered a sirloin steak, and it came out after a half hour. Meanwhile, on a Saturday night, on a busy Saturday night.
And that's what happened.
And that it came out cold. He ordered it with like French fries, which everybody gets a baked potato there. I hate to say people ordered wrong, Danny, but I always say you play to a place's strengths when you
I
go
get
there.
the sweet potato there.
Yeah, sweet baked potato,
Baked or
cream
sweet?
spinach.
Yeah.
I'm a cream spinach
Yeah, the
guy.
cream spinach is
Got it.
This guy orders French fries
which is allowed to do.
and the steak, and he says it came out cold. So the bartender, instead of taking it back and redoing it, came back. Basically, he said that the bartender just came out with one of their sizzling platters and told him to warm it up himself. But then it was already overcooked. It made no sense because the protocol there is usually you get the steak on a sizzling platter.
Yep.
And if you don't want it on a sizzling platter, they'll bring it on a regular plate. And if the dish isn't made right, they'll whisk it back to the kitchen. So I'm already calling BS on this guy. I think
It's
he
just
had it
weird.
in for him. But the other thing that was gratifying, first of all, within an hour of it being posted, like 200 comments,
People
and
love,
more than half of them are supporting Tropical Acres.
Look, you don't exist for what 80
70,
years? Yeah.
75, 76 years.
Almost 80 years as a restaurant in South Florida without doing things right.
Right. They do things the right way. This guy, I didn't even ask, what happened when you
He didn't go to
ask
the
for-
manager.
he didn't go to the
No, he
manager.
didn't go to the
But the other heartening thing is within an hour of that post going up, and it's not like, somebody else said, I just went there last night before a concert at Hard Rock, and everything was great. Everything came out timely. We were out the door in an hour, got to see the show. So it's like, people. I came up with a list this week. We'll talk to Danny about this, about polarizing places.
Yes.
And that is places that have both fierce loyalists and some people who just love to hate them and just take pot shots. And I don't know if you saw the list.
No, you posted. I didn't see that.
I came up with a list. I was going to make it a top 10, and then people kept suggesting things that were,
that you didn't think of.
places like besides Tropical Acres,
Yes.
which I admit is polarizing.
It
And
is.
Jack Studiali knows also. Then they're not everything to all people, and he lives with that. Danny, we're talking about what I call polarizing places. That is places that Some people just love them and are fiercely loyal, and other people just love to hate on them. And I came up with a list. I posted it on the group over the weekend. Seemed to get a lot of response, but like Tropical Acres, Cafe Martorano, Skyline Chili, Le Tub.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good list.
It's I could read you the
I mean,
whole
it's pretty-
list, but
yeah, it's
people
pretty-
kept adding more. Regina's Farm, which is the
Oh,
Brazilian
Regina's
picnic
Farm
place.
is interesting because
And I was trying to think of Miami places. I put Carbone on there because I don't particularly like the joint, but a
who's
lot of
spoken
people
highly
do.
about Carbone? That's the problem for Carbone. It feels
I-
like everyone speaks negatively, but they're jamming every night.
I speak negatively.
No,
I
everyone want
like
to talk to.
Carbone.
Oh, you do like Carbone.
I like Carbone. I like going to the. I mean, I've been going to Carbone since I lived and worked in New York, and I've been supporting those guys since they had the small place
Okay.
called Teresi.
Right.
I'm a fan. I love Parm. It's the first place I go to when I go to New York.
I don't mind the place in New York. I don't mind the original, but
No, I
when
like
they
the one in
brought it
Vegas.
down here, okay.
Well, they brought
I
it
had
down
an ex-
here, and like it's Miami, man. It's like
I know.
glitzy, and it's like a scene. I haven't been here.
This is why I
Oh,
love
okay.
you and your places because you are everything that Miami is.
You're
usually
like real
not.
Miami.
See,
You're like real Miami.
what I love about those guys, and even the Carbone here, what they do is like they have all that glitz and glamour and scene, but the food still delivers, man. And the food is the quality is top notch. The sourcing is amazing. The service is excellent. The place looks great. Like even though it's like clubby or whatever, they still deliver 1,000% on the food.
All right, I'm going to quibble with you on this, and this is why I'm a critic. So I went in there with my daughter after I made one of my usual insurance scores because that's how I made a living for a couple of years was just suing insurance companies.
Okay.
Rightfully, I was in the right.
above board.
Actually, I didn't even prevail in court. Citizens caved.
No, they're not gonna go
They
for
gave me a settlement because they realized how badly they botched the whole thing. So celebration, I took my daughter to Carbone, and loved the clam appetizer where
I
they
love
have the
the clam,
clams
yeah.
3 different ways. That was great.
Lardo.
I love they gave a little antipasta platter of some of the cheeses and I guess olives. That was a nice touch. But we got their famed rigatoni, spicy rigatoni alla vodka. Me and my daughter, we split it. I counted the rigatonis. There were like 34 rigatonis, and they charged $36.
really like-
I'm really a Jew. But,
no,
yeah.
he wanted to go for it with Carbone.
but
too.
it
That was
wasn't
his
that
thing.
good. It wasn't that spicy. And I've had better for far cheaper at other places. So that was a disappointment. And then we ordered the veal parm for 2, which at the time was $95. And they came out with the little pizza cutters and gave their little presentation.
No.
And you know what? The top of the veal parm was all mushy. I've had better from my Swanson's frozen dinner. And
No,
okay.
No.
Are
I
you
will
saying I
die.
had a bad night or
I would say maybe you personally had a bad night and wanted to go in there and hate because you didn't want to like.
It's a sort of-
and
it's
like
sort
you're a
of-
Broward guy, so you're like, oh, Anthony's is way better than this. Oh, I love Runway
100%
84.
what he said
I do
the
love
next
I'll
day.
take Runway any day over this.
I will
say
Especially
what he
Anthony's
said.
with the fucking plane inside.
that's gone?
I know.
They've got rid of the
no.
plane. All
Carbone is
We have
like,
a little 305
I know, I love it, though.
battle
Like,
going on.
Carbone. They do an amazing job. The whole group. I love Dirty French. I particularly love Contessa in design for similar pasta dishes. But back to your polarizing Broward places.
Yeah.
I fucking love Martorano. I'm team.
Oh,
love-
you know what?
I'm team. I love Martorano.
So you're like with all the guys that people are sort of questioning.
like
about.
I
It's
don't
interesting.
like. It's not my favorite place to go to because it's loud and like that like vibe.
It's
So I
a
like
little
going there right
much
when they
for
open,
me.
like around 6:00 before it gets like that.
Maybe I'm officially
But-
old now.
I think like
The
nobody.
disco ball. No,
Probably.
and you know
I
what
would-
it is?
I don't think
Look.
anybody on earth does better linguine vongole than Martorano.
He does. Okay, I respect Steve. Okay, I really like his meatball. I don't necessarily love the pricing of it anymore, but it's
Oh,
a very
so
good.
It's so good. That and with the salad, that setup is just. And everyone that's tried to rip it off, I don't want to name names, myself included, at home, doesn't even come close.
So the meatball's okay. You know, if you're
The
a
meatball is outstanding.
if you're a favored guest, he'll throw out the cheesesteaks or a little Sicilian pizza for you. You know, I went one time when I was still married, and at that point, I wasn't a food critic. I was, I was at the paper as whatever column. I think I was a news columnist, but I don't pull rank. I don't want anybody to know who I am or get special treatment. But we had a reservation. Of course, they're backed up. It was a Friday night or something like that. Rick Pitino is sitting 2 seats away. It's got the whole good scene in there. And they're handing out like these cheesesteaks to everybody at the bar that's waiting to get seated. We get nothing, because we're not part of the favored crew.
Oh,
I don't
you're
like
schnook.
places that play favorites and
Favorites.
VIPs. And then We waited so long. It was like an hour and a half past our reservation time. We finally get seated. We were so drunk we couldn't enjoy our food. And then they brought out. We had it was a pasta dish with a lobster, like fra diavolo.
Oh,
The
yeah.
lobster tail was cooked perfectly. When I say it wasn't even al dente, it was raw. It was like
they didn't cook it at all.
crunchy pasta, and it
Oh,
was
God.
like, we can't eat this. And it goes, oh, that's how it is. It's al dente.
No,
And when you say, well, this isn't right, I didn't say taste it yourself.
They said it's al dente. It's right.
They insisted it was right and that we were the ones who were wrong. And we're like, okay. And then my wife at the time liked having grated parm on her seafood linguine. And that, of course, is a big no-no there. And he was like, no, he refuses. I can respect a chef that won't alter a dish, but not to be able to let somebody desecrate a dish on their own. Like if somebody wants ketchup on a hot
Yeah,
dog,
we'll let
you
you
let
do
them
whatever you
murder it.
want.
Yeah.
But might I suggest, after hearing you for the
Might I
past,
suggest?
after hearing you for the past like 8 or 10 minutes, and might I suggest as a sponsor for the show, you
Yeah.
go after Century Village of the Palace? Because you kind of sound like you would fit right in there right now. The way you're talking. Look, that guy has standards.
I respect him. I told you, but it's not for me, and I haven't gone back because I don't like being treated.
Like, let me tell you, I went there, and I worked in New York. I worked for a James Beard restaurant. I'm a chef, and it was right when his book came out. It was right before I opened Blue Collar, and I went in there,
What, Yoko's?
and I wanted to like hate so hard. I was like, oh, everyone loves this place. It's going to be terrible. All these prices are insane. Oh my god,
I
it
don't
can't be
mind
that
paying.
good. And I went in there, and I was so sure I was going to hate it,
Mm-hmm.
and I went there and just fell in love. It was
Okay.
so good. I had never had pasta at the time. I
Maybe
never had pasta that good in my
Mark
life.
Falsetto and you can take me back to Martorano, and Steve, if
And
he ever
yeah, they're
forgives
friends
me,
with
I
him,
don't
yeah.
know if
and
he's
to
ever heard
boot,
me. Well,
and to boot, like I started talking to him a little bit, like he was at this corner where he like expedites and DJs, and I was telling him I'm about to open up my own restaurant. I've been cooking for this many years, blah 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 blah, and he like, as much as he could in that little conversation, and then through Facebook, took me under his wing and
Oh, he was
helped me
actually
out
like
a
a
little
good
bit.
dude.
okay.
I was like, and I would send him messages like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I've been working like 16-hour days, 7 days a week. I'm going crazy. And he would like just say like some words of encouragement and was like super cool. And he had no idea why. It's
No,
a
so
600
that's-
square foot restaurant
That's
in
better than
Miami.
what I've heard.
That's
of
a
him.
side of him that, look, I have heard about that. He is a good person.
Yes.
But I just like when I go to a restaurant, if
You
I
want everything to be like Burger King. You want it your
No,
way. You want to have it your
no,
way. You want to
I'm
have it your
completely
way.
fine with the
You
chef.
and the purple
that-
hairs from Century
I'm-
Village want it your way. You want to steal the sweet and low from
Well,
the
that
table
was-
and
that's
put the
what-
rolls in your purse.
That's what's weird about him because he likes omakase, which is literally
No,
you don't even know what you're getting half the time. Like
if
that's what's weird
I'm
about
not
him.
one of these guys who's making alterations and substitutions for the hell of it. I am.
You
But
wanna-
again, if something is not cooked to what I think is even to a doneness that can be digestible,
You got to be able to chew it. I mean, even al
so-
dente, you can chew it.
No, this was not chewable. This was like raw pasta. It's like when I get really, like inebriated and I'm cooking pasta late at night, and I have no patience.
Say you were drunk by the time you got sat.
Oh, so now you're blaming the
you,
victim.
You did say and by the time we got sat, we were drunk. That's a quote. You said that.
Yes, I did say that.
So
now it's my fault that the food didn't come
I
out.
mean, you were
Right.
already maybe a little upset because you had to wait longer than you had to.
Right.
You had a few drinks in you. Your wife didn't get to put cheese on her fucking seafood. Kind of sounds like
Ex-wife now, by the way,
it kind
so-
of sounds like maybe they didn't get a fair shake.
So maybe I should go back and give him another.
Let's
chance.
do it. I'll go with you.
Okay.
I
And
effing
Steve, I don't know
love
what
it.
I've
he's
never
heard.
been,
I've never
so I'm
wrote a
open.
bad word about him when I was the food critic. In fact, I did some very complimentary features when he got named best meatball in the country by Bon Appetit magazine. He was gracious with me with the time, but I've never felt compelled to go back there because I have, there's other places that will treat me in a manner that I don't say that I. Well, when I'm a guest, I want to be like
Treated like a guy. I get it.
and the
I
thing,
get it.
Runway 84, even though it's become like New Year's Eve every night there, I love their food. And if you ask them for something, they are really good, and they are in the hospitality business,
Look,
not in the dominatrix business.
as a chef and owner, I can respect and consumer, I respect both ways. Like you come in here, you do whatever you want. We don't care. You want to substitute this, that, you want to ruin a dish, or not ruin a dish, but you want to do something the way I don't
Your
think it
own
should be
way.
done.
Yeah.
Cool. You're giving me the money, you can do whatever you want.
Right,
I
yeah,
don't care.
No, and
But as someone so committed to the guns and not letting you do and mess up what he thinks, And as a chef creator, I can respect that.
If you just throw us a little cheesesteak before the meal.
You know what? I used to work with this old Italian guy from Turin,
Okay.
who now is, I think, the executive chef over at Il Molino in Sunny Isles. And he was on Iron Chef America and won, and for pasta. And I was working with him. Remember El Lugano?
Yeah.
I was working with him. They brought me in as like a
Oh wow.
No, the chicken sandwich is
Chicken
fantastic.
sandwich.
as like a heavy,
I don't
like
even
a
like
hired
buffalo
gun.
chicken.
This guy was working there. He's down on his luck. He's working there as a line cook, and he told me, like in Turin at least, it's a fucking secret. They just want the cheese on this pot on the seafood for themselves. They don't want the rest of us to know how good it really can be.
That's funny. So there.
But the chicken is.
Oh, yeah.
No,
So
it's
getting back to
really
you,
good.
Thank you.
I'm singing your praises because
Yeah,
you know I love you, Danny.
I appreciate it.
Because this big ragu sandwich, I used to come in here during the pandemic, when he was doing takeout only across the street. And sometimes I would just have to come down and get one of these all the way from Hollywood.
Look, I'm
What's in it again? It's the short rib.
It's like a Sunday gravy. So we take a bunch of pancetta, hot Italian sausage, brisket, pork butt, veal shoulder, San Marzano tomatoes, a ton of onions and garlic, and we just slowly cook it for hours until it all kind of falls apart. We shove that in the seeded roll, and cover it with a mix of provolone and mozzarella, and until it gets nice and crusty on the outside and gooey on top, and that's it.
What did you
It's
proclaim?
one of the greatest sandwiches I've ever had. Like I'm not a fan because I'm a wuss. I own this coming from a Jewish home where we use flavors, but we didn't always use spice. My mom spicy was used I've always used the term as kick. That shows you're not eating a lot of spice. So as I've gotten older, I've eaten more spice. I've never been the biggest fan of it, but I understand it's a part of their flavor profile. That it has the kind of kick you need for flavor.
Yes.
But it is not overwhelming, and it doesn't overtake the
Great
sandwich.
sandwich.
It is a great sandwich. Like the flavors
The
in
big
that
ragu?
sandwich are amazing.
And that's one of the things that's made Blue Collar so special and so beloved. Again, it's been here for 13 years, but in this location for a little over a year.
1 year in June. 27th.
1 year in June.
Oh, wow.
June 27th is 1 year, and on June 27th, we're running a huge special. Everything's 27% off.
Oh, wow.
that's fun.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's not including the what?
No
day is
doubling
the
up on-
27th. Yeah, the,
No doubling up on specials.
I think
Like,
the 20th.
you don't get your BOGO plus 27%.
right.
off.
It's you get
It's
the
a Friday,
27%.
so I guess
Good
you
question.
can pick
Someone
and
from
choose.
Century Village would ask.
I was gonna ask
Because
that too.
we had that discussion with the manager meeting before we
Or-
decided to launch it. They were like, "Well, what? Everyone's going to come in and try and do that." And I'm like, "No,
You
they're
know,
not."
you think I'm particular? You're the one who's like, when I bring Chinese food to to the game,
might want top mustard.
he's like, no bean sprouts. I hate bean sprouts. I was like, who hates bean sprouts? It gives it crunch.
It's like a
I don't
bean
like
sprout
bean
and
sprouts
chestnut. It just gives crunch
Me and him
without
are a
any
good
flavor.
couple. We're
Wow.
a good odd
Bean
couple.
sprout and chestnut, water chestnut flavor.
I love water
texture, no
chestnuts.
flavor.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
get it.
what's
I'm
wrong
not
with
a
that?
fan.
I don't, especially now that I'm on the Ozempic, I don't need things filling me up that aren't giving me flavor.
I love crunch. So if you give me crunch, even if it
That's
doesn't
what
deliver
the crispy noodles are that they serve you at the Chinese
at
restaurants.
Juan's. I love Juan's. That's one of our.
Oh, I
great
got to
new
get back
spots.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
gotta get
I,
back there.
Alex is a great guy, and another.
I've
one
been
of
going.
our-
My parents, they owned retirement homes in Hollywood for years.
Yep.
And that was one of our places.
Oh
we would
yeah,
always
because
go.
the family had
Yeah.
places in Hollywood on Sheridan Street, and at one point, all over the place. They started in Miami. Let's take break number 2, and then I'm going to read him more. I love this polarizing place list, and I love going back and forth with him
Yep.
on places.
Yeah.
This is good stuff here, but I'll let him read the list. But before we take the break, besides welcoming Blue Collar as a sponsor for this month, we also have to welcome Burton's
Yes.
Grill. There are 2 locations in South Florida. One is in Plantation. That's their newest location. Also just celebrated their 1-year anniversary
Yep.
on University Drive. And they have one up in Boca that's been there for several years. Military Trail, right next to our friends at Prezzo.
Oh, nice.
But Burton's is
It's
they
great.
don't. I mean, I guess they're a chain. There's like 17 locations. They started in Massachusetts, and I love them because they are a kind of contemporary, sophisticated American bistro. They have great food. They
Yep.
have great specials.
Yep.
And unlike our friends, another polarizing place, Houston's, it reminds me of Houston's, except that without the attitude and all the rules.
Oh no, you guys are gonna fight a lot
we're gonna
because you
fight
like all these places that
Oh,
he
this is gonna
can't
be good.
stand. He hates you.
But before we get into that, Burton's, I want to welcome them aboard.
Yeah,
We're going to be actually there at the Boca location at 3 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to be sitting down and chatting with their CEO.
Nice.
Mr. John Hagai is his name.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it yet because I butcher all pronunciations. But John will be sitting down with us. We're going to be talking about the growth of the brand. I wish they would bring more. Have you ever been to a Burton's? They have one of the best key lime pies. I know you've got a great key lime pie, but one of the best restaurant key lime pies. I know Joe's down here gets all the love. Your key lime pie is in my top two. Burton's key lime
those are
pie
our two
is
favorite key lime
great,
pies. Yeah.
and a couple other ones out there. But Burton's, I love them. They're great for the family. They are reasonably priced, and they are also very willing to work with
very
you. If you have allergies, or they have a full gluten-free menu, and they are very sensitive.
Well, they
to
said they
those.
can make any dish any way.
Yeah,
which is impressive.
Yeah, and I bet they would bring out cheese if they had some pasta.
He does love
You
that.
can get any dish anyway,
He
the way
does
you
love
want it,
that. He
and
does
and
love
and you can be the chef. It's like choose your own adventure.
The point is, especially for those with allergies like Val,
Yes,
who can't
have to miss out on a lot of
carrots
dishes.
or oranges or have anything that's braised in a mirepoix, they make doubly sure everything is cooked to the way that she can eat it safely. So we love Burton's. We're going to be there tomorrow in Boca. Come on out if you'd like, or check it out at some point. All right. Meanwhile, let's take break number 2. We're having too much fun here at Blue Collar, and we haven't even gotten to all the drinks. We got another one. This is what it's called, the Surf's Up. It's a rum drink, classic rum drink.
I've been pounding it. It's fantastic.
You've been pounding it. I've been kind of taking it easy on my old fashioned because the juice has kicked in.
Our friend Don Jaffe was like Houston's, but nice.
Right. We're gonna have a Houston
I
steak
said that
after
just to
this.
piss him off.
All right, let's take our second break. We're only on break number 2.
Yeah.
But we're having a blast here at Blue Collar. We'll be back after these words. Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, upscale food in a down-home setting, the chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations, all right, we're back. I hear things. We're good. Lubie, you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay, good. Danny Serfer
He's futzing
is
with things,
off
and I think I messed
to
with
the
the internet.
side. We're gonna continue our discussion about polarizing places. We're at Blue Collar. It's on Biscayne Boulevard and 68th Street in Miami. It is, I call it, a comfort food haven, but it is a very classy, sophisticated setting. They have full bar now. They're going to be celebrating their first anniversary in this new location, June 27th, where everything is 27% off. And they also have specials all summer long, not just those sandwiches where you get BOGO. Again, that's every day, 12 to 5?
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Lunch.
Monday through Friday, lunchtime, but they do late lunches here in Miami.
12
And
to, yeah.
12 to
12
5.
to 5.
You can't beat that deal. And then also the happy hour, Monday through Friday, all day, where you have half-price featured cocktails, draft beer for $4, and half-price wines by the glass, and Happy Meal, which is a draft beer and a well shot for $11. Sounds like something you would do back in your Florida State days, Danny.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. Let's get back to, well, before we get back into the polarizing places, because I
Okay.
think we're going to go at it on a couple of them. We do have to get our contest results for last week. Again, every Friday, we're at Gulfstream Park, and we run a Sunday brunch contest. And this week was interesting because in the celebration to mark the start of hurricane season, it's not a celebration, I came up with a place up in Delray that's actually named for Chicago, where there are no hurricanes, but I thought it fit. Windy City Pizza was the name of the restaurant that we were looking for. The horse, this was interesting. The contest race, the Powder Break Stakes, 11th race on the Gulfstream card Saturday. Number 4, Let's Go Coco, was the winning horse. But guess what? Nobody had it. None of our 40 entrants picked the winning horse. So that means we had to go to the second place finishing horse, which was the number 1 horse. And that is called Dancing in Dixie.
Wait, before I forget, you
Yep.
ever see the movie with Richard Dreyfuss,
Yes.
Let It Ride?
Let It
Love
Ride
that.
is one of the great
He's
movies.
a
Love that
degenerate,
movie.
obviously.
Yes.
Got the horse right here.
For degenerates like
It's
myself.
like one of the Colin Crib
It
movies.
is at the top. Rounders, which was written by a college classmate of mine.
That's crazy.
Oh, really?
Koppelman, Brian Koppelman, who's now a big producer. He was the showrunner for the show Billions, but
Okay.
Brian Koppelman wrote the script to Rounders, which is a great one.
Yeah, it's a
But
classic. Yep.
in terms of comedies, Let It Ride was a
Let It
great
Ride's
one.
up there. Yep.
All right, so the second place horse, 6 people had the second place horse.
Okay.
That means we went to the third tiebreaker, the result of the game 3. I'm sorry, was it?
No,
I'm
it
sorry,
was-
game 6.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
was the Saturday night game, the closeout game. 3 people took the Knicks, 3 people took the Pacers, and we don't need any tiebreakers today because the winner of today's contest, by picking the Pacers by 6 points, even though the actual total was 17, but nobody else went higher than Pacers by 6. It was Alan Yarad, also known as Dr. Bupkis. Congratulations, Dr. Bupkis. You've won more than Bupkis. You and a guest have won a all-expense brunch for 2 package at 10 Palms at Gulfstream, including a mimosa, tax, and gratuity. Congratulations. And now, of course, we're also giving the runner-up a prize, thanks to our friend Mark Falsetto at Taco Craft. And again, the runner-up No need for a tiebreaker. Ed Sikowski,
Nice.
you are the winner of the $25 gift card to Taco Craft. Congratulations, Ed and Alan. The weird thing is Ed was in the tiebreaker hat last week
Yeah, I
for the
thought-
grand prize, and he didn't get picked, but at least he wins this week the consolation prize.
Yep.
And Dr.
The week
Bookus
before, right?
won 2 weeks ago the consolation prize.
But he's still
Was still
available
eligible
for the
for the big prize. Can you follow all this, Dan?
We'd be happy to donate some stuff for that.
I love it. People love our contests, and I got mocked at the beginning. The
Oh,
way
no.
you mocked me for my 90-year-old man taste buds. People saying nobody's going to understand the contest. How they got to pick a horse, they got to have a restaurant, then you got to pick a ball
It
game.
was ludicrous.
They get it because we have
I
a
get it.
degenerate
I
audience.
get it.
I was gonna say the generates with the math.
And
Figure
every
out,
week, and again, we exclude people who've won the grand prize for 90 days. So even without them in the hopper, we'll get between 40
we
and
get lots of
50
people.
entries every week. We get some newcomers to go out to check out 10 Palms.
Yeah, it's
Golf Stream. Are you a horse player at all? Not really.
I enjoy a day at the track.
Okay.
Oh, then you got to come to our
We're
next
gonna-
day at
yeah.
the races.
Every so often we do the Lunchbox Brunch Bash
We're
on
thinking
a
what,
Sunday.
July?
We're going to do it toward the end of July.
Let me know. I
We'll
would
have
bring
to
the
invite
kids.
you. We'll
Yeah,
bring the
it's
kids.
great.
Yeah.
time
It
with
will
kids.
be
The
on
kids
us
love
and
it.
Joe Beja, the great.
You can go
You know
down to
Joe B at the director of
Yeah, I know
hospitality?
Joe. I
He
do
used
know
to work
Joe.
at the Lowe's.
Joe's
He's
a
a
great
great
dude.
guy.
I like
He's a
him a
great
lot.
dude.
Yeah, and he's doing a bang up job there at Gulfstream.
Yeah, you'd have fun. It's a really good time.
I like spending the day there with the kids, having them look
kids
at the
love it.
ponies, and then making some bets. I've been known to make some bets on races, if you could believe.
This shocks me.
Shocker.
Very shocking.
Yeah, the first time I actually ever went to a track was when I went to summer camp in Canada. We spent a week up there before, and my friend's dad, he took us to the track.
It's funny because the first time I ever gambled and drank beer was as a 13-year-old at Boy Scout camp. So that's
I didn't do any of that.
fittingly enough. I was an Eagle Scout too.
Yeah, it just seems
So,
like it.
All right, we'll get back to the list. All right, polarizing places. We already mentioned Tropical Acres, Houston's, La Tub, Cafe Martorano, Skyline Chili, Cap's Place.
Skyline Chili, I can totally get being polarizing. That
Do you like it? Are you thumbs up or thumbs down?
look, I would never want to say something bad about another restaurant.
Thumbs down. He's in
But
recovery.
It's not to my that flavor. It's like mace or something in the chili. It is not
It
my
has-
favorite Philly.
it has-
Or they do nutmeg.
It's a Greek.
mace or nutmeg.
It's
something.
basically a Greek meat sauce that they put on top of spaghetti. I don't know who branded it as chili. Or
like I don't
why.
mind chili on spaghetti. I'll do that at home.
Okay, but what they had, it's kind of a Greek flavored because it was a Greek family that started, and it's not just them. It was all a Cincinnati chili thing. Is all these Greek immigrants started these chili parlors. Basically, all they did was get meat sauce. There's no beans in it, but you could add beans on request, and it has cinnamon. It has
It's
nutmeg,
cinnamon and
No.
nutmeg. Yeah.
cinnamon,
there's
nutmeg,
mace.
maybe some cumin. I don't think there's any mint.
Tastes like mace to me.
Mace. Well, there's no
don't know
no
what that is.
chocolate. People
Like
it was
mace isn't that same like nutmeg, cinnamon
okay.
kind of family.
well, it's I guess a secret blend of spices, but by law they have to put it on the boxes when they sell it
I
at,
think
Oh.
they have it. I
at
think they have
Publix,
it.
and it says cinnamon, nutmeg, a little bit of chili powder sometimes, but no chocolate. It was a
Yeah, it's not
vicious
chocolate.
urban legend that they put like cocoa powder in there. There's no chocolate, but I happen to love the stuff, but I also still like getting intoxicated, so I think it's a very good thing. I love myself a wet four-way.
You're toxic.
Cap's Place. Have you ever been to Cap's
I always
Place?
wanted to go. I've never been. That's the one
Me
we have
and
to
you,
take the
we
boat,
got to
right?
go
I've
because
never gone either.
it was on my list.
I wanna go.
A place. I've lived here 36 years now in South Florida, and I have not gone to Cap's
Right?
Place.
Did you take the boat
It's in
over?
the key. Where? Okay, where is Cap?
Lighthouse
It's in
Point.
Lighthouse Point.
It's in Lighthouse
It's
Point.
a little island. Now, a lot of people take the boat because there's a boat ride from a parking lot, but there's also a back road in that you could also go
Oh, okay.
directly there for those who are in wheelchairs,
Okay.
mobility issues. I've heard, that there's some people that love it. It's been there since the 30s.
Oh, since the 30s.
They had
I
at
would
one
love it.
point.
I'm sure I'm gonna love it.
I think Churchill and Roosevelt had a meeting there
my
before
God.
some, big, during the World War II. Very historic place. Rainbow Palace.
I'm a fan. Although, once I went there years ago, I think it was 2012 or 13. I schlepped down there with my brother-in-law on Christmas, and the city had shut off the whole water
Oh.
in that area. So we show up for Christmas, trying to get some Peking duck for Christmas, and they're like, "We're closed." Like the city shut off the water.
Okay. Well, that's not their fault.
You're not
No,
holding
no.
it against him. No, he's not holding it against him.
yeah,
He's being
okay.
honest.
I like they do a good duck if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Frank Pepe Pizza, which has now come down.
I went
here.
yesterday.
Oh, the one in Plantation.
Yeah.
How was it?
On Saturday I went. I really like what they do. I
Okay.
particularly love the bacon and onion pie.
I like the clam pie.
The clam
I like their plain tomato pie
Yeah.
with like they do a light powder of the.
I think they
Is
do
it
a good
the
job. Both the
Reggiano
salads are very
cheese?
good. You know, they have the Italian salad and their Caesar. And
I'm a
they're both
fan.
great. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Some people don't like it. I have Rustic Inn in Dania Beach, which used to be family owned, and now it has a whole corporate structure.
I've gone there throughout my life.
So you don't
Notice-
have anything positive to say?
I like this.
Like for me,
No, you don't want to
What-
slam a place. I get it.
my first job ever, not working for my parents, I was a busboy at the Crab House when they used to have a location in the waterways. So, you know, I'm Team Crab House.
Okay. I had Regina's Farm, which again is a Saturday night only thing. Weekend
Virginia
only.
Farm's fine. Just you can't do it this time of year.
No, it's
Like we did it at this time of the year, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. I don't know if the food was good or not. I'm like, I don't want soup
So
when it's
hot.
110,
okay.
and it's in a farm, so it's actually more humid, and you just feel. And they sat us by the cauldron for some reason, so I'm like, there's a cauldron, and I'm eating soup, like at 115 degree, like
It's counterintuitive, but it's actually cooling to eat soup in the middle of the
yeah, it
summertime.
didn't cool
Same
me
thing with
off.
ice cream in the winter.
Right. I
Yeah.
love that too.
Yeah, it
When you
didn't
get
cool
your
me off.
core temperature closer to the ambient temperature,
It didn't work. We
Yeah.
We agree
couldn't
on
breathe,
some things.
Yeah.
and we
Uh,
were
you're
very happy to
also-
leave.
you are at that age now. You'll take soup anytime.
As long as it's hot.
Yeah.
It's gotta be hot.
I actually have sent soup back at Houston's several times
Oh,
because
all right.
it wasn't
So-
hot.
I was gonna
See?
let me run down the quick, and then we're gonna get into
All right.
our Houston's argument. But got the Mai Kai on there, recently reopened. There's
I've
some-
been going to the Mai Kai since I'm a little kid.
You have, okay.
So many birthdays there.
Okay. but everybody says the food.
Yeah, but what about the food?
And now Burger Beast has his friend is
He's doing
now
an
the
event
new
there, yeah, yeah.
executive chef there. So
The Mai Kai is about the experience.
okay, got it.
The experience on the whole.
That's code for don't expect the greatest meal.
It may be fine, just don't expect.
Las
You know,
Spadas hoagies, and this
That's
is
not how is Las Patas polarizing.
Okay,
Who
so-
doesn't like Las
So here's the
Patas?
deal.
I like it a lot. I love Gail is a friend of Defoe's. She's one of the owners. It's just for those people like you love your crusty seeded rolls like the Big Ragu is on. They happen to use a traditional Pennsylvania hoagie roll, which
The
is
Cusano's
soft and
Candy
squishy.
Bar.
Yeah.
It's a Cusano. It's from Cusano's. The name of the bread is actually called Pandiba,
Okay.
and it's excellent for what they're doing.
It's a representation of a Pennsylvania hoagie.
Yeah.
It's squishy. It's soft and
Yeah.
squishy. It's great for people who, again, maybe don't have all their teeth. But
Get off my lawn!
Yeah, he's weird. He's very weird about bread.
no, but I
but we
have
did a show there, and he enjoyed his time.
no.
at Las
I
Palmas.
don't hate on the place. I actually go to Los
No,
Spadas.
I don't think it's polarizing. Who said La Spada's
Because
Who
when we-
doesn't love La Spada?
when
Some
we
people
were-
are weird because
when-
they feel like you have to pick between what's the other one?
VNS.
VNS.
Of
So
course,
it's like you at Crab. So they feel like they're doing
No,
the service to
because
VNS. if they
VNS,
like Las
VNS
Palmas.
goes both ways with the hard crusty roll and the
I-
soft roll.
Right. But the thing is, anytime somebody writes about Las Spadas on Let's Eat South Florida, 201,000 members
Nice.
now. It's one of those things.
People will
I put
bitch.
it in there as polarizing because
It's expensive.
it has no. It's not even the expense. It's people just saying, "Oh, it's gone downhill. The meats are not the same. They
That's
changed
not
their
true.
bread. I don't like their bread." Blah blah blah. So it's like it's one of those places where whenever you throw their name out there, it gets a very split decision, and that's the definition.
I have
of-
never met anyone or known anyone personally that doesn't love La Spada, and I've never taken anyone there that's never been there that doesn't love it after I take them there.
yeah, and throwing the meat for the
Although,
final catch.
You know
it's-
what? Maybe not polarizing, maybe not as well known. It was a great sub shop, just a Mr. M's.
Oh, the one on Sterling.
Yeah,
It's gone downhill.
I went the other day. I loved it.
Really?
I haven't
Yeah.
had that place.
I love it.
I'm not a fan.
Oh, my.
The tuna salad is
The
good.
older you get, the less things you're a fan of. It seems. I'm so
All
grateful
right,
you still like
and
us.
now-
You
I've-
introduced my wife. My wife lamented Las Padas, but I didn't realize it's because she never had it. We had it this weekend, and she truly enjoyed it.
She enjoyed it. Okay. Well, again, apologies to Gail. I do like it. It's just that sometimes I prefer.
I love La
the
Spada,
crunchier
Gail,
bread.
and we would love it. We would love it if you would stop hating on Miami and open them over here, so I don't have to schlep out there all the time.
Oh, there you go. All right, and then I've got a bunch of like chains for the final ones. Chick-fil-A is polarizing
I was
for
outside of
reasons.
political
Political
reasons.
reasons.
Not
'cause no
just
one likes-
political, but some
dislikes the
people just
food.
don't like the food and they don't think
Okay,
the
they
sandwich is all
haven't
that.
eaten it.
Aldi supermarkets because it's a very bizarre
It's-
place.
Pain in the ass.
Not
to
the
shop there.
cleanest. You don't know what they're going to have all the time, but I'll do certain shopping
Publix has become very polarizing.
because it's just
These
expensive.
are for the Rockefellers now.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta
Right.
be a Rockefeller to
I
shop
mean,
at
their
Publix.
price differential between like you go
Trader
into-
Joe's is cheaper than freaking Publix these
Well, no,
days.
and the thing is, Publix, and you go into a Target or a Walmart market, same name brand items,
Yeah, for the way
35 to 40% higher at Publix.
Yeah,
So that's
You go to
what's
Doris's for like the same or less.
Oh, 100%.
okay. And then finally, Wawa. Are you a fan of Wawa?
I don't mind.
Yeah,
Wawa.
I like
For a
Wawa.
gas station?
You know what? I have a Tesla, so I appreciate Wawa because they have the
Oh, they have charging
superchargers.
stations. Nice.
And Wawa, like
Food-wise.
I
it's
think
a
they do
really
decent
good
subs for a gas
like a gas
station.
station hoagie.
The problem is people compare it to other
They play over the
hoagie shops, and that's dumb. I think of it as a gas station. So to me, it
Way better than it
exceeds
has
my
to be.
expectations.
Exactly, I agree.
So I used to be a fan of Wawa's. I used to think like you. Like I would get those, either the Italian cold cut sub or
They're
sometimes the
doing
meatball
okay.
sub. It was like
cheesesteak,
at one
actually.
point it was
For not having a
$3.99.
grill.
Now it's
Yeah, yeah.
$5.99. It was
Oh,
okay,
same
but now I think
pricing.
they've overexpanded, and they have now again, like
They're all over the
everything
place.
else, they have a staff that is not all about, they're not all with it all the time. I went in after a poker tournament one night, and I was hungry, and I got a Italian cold cut sub. It was like 2 a.m. I brought it back home and I started eating inedible. The bread was stale. The meat was garbage, and it
2
was
in the
just
morning.
total bad. And
What
it was,
getting a
what
sub.
staff do you think? What A-team staff member do you think is working at a gas station making subs at 2 a.m?
then don't sell the subs if you
Don't
can't
sell
put out a
the
good
subs.
product.
Mayo.
No,
What are you
All
doing?
right, I'm a
Le
ridiculous
Tub
human
is
being.
surprising too. I think actually since those new owners took over Le Tub, that they're better than ever.
They've cleaned it up in a way that I hate. I liked it
Then
all
people like
gritty.
it being
I liked
gross
them being
and
nasty.
Whatever.
I liked and the thing is they mess with a couple of things, because the burger in my mind, yeah, it's a monstrosity, but it used to have more flavor. And they changed the fries. They last time I went in there, the fry they haven't changed it. There's still the big steak
The
fries,
ketchup spoons.
but they weren't good. And they changed. They used to have the steamed pink the steamed shrimp, and they'd have it in the spices,
The
like
Old Bay.
the clove, the Old Bay,
Yeah.
the pepper. And the last time I went there, they got rid of it. It was more like an Old Bay. So I didn't like those changes. They've cleaned it up. They've made it friendlier. They've made it more efficient. I got to go back and revisit. I was in there since they changed ownership. It was 2 years ago.
I have affinity for them because when I was still drinking and I was just starting out my career in the kitchen down here, they had great margaritas, and
Right.
I would, after my shift from Chef Allen's, I would go and sit at Le Tub and have margaritas and a burger. And I liked, back then they had the elusive gumbo. They don't have it anymore.
Right. They got rid of the gumbo. Now, when I came down here, I was a sports writer, and I'd work a lot of late games, and it was one of the places you could go in after a game and at midnight or 1 o'clock get some dinner. And this was back in the day, and they weren't nasty. They just, you had to have a certain way about you in order for them to respect you. So it was John and Matthias. Matthias, rest in peace. He passed a couple of years ago. And those guys, I love those guys. They bickered like a married couple.
To that, so I just started working, and I was just a prep guy at Chef Allen's. And I love the gumbo so much. And I went up to the guy in the kitchen, who was that old salty guy from years ago, who was there forever. I forget
Yeah.
his name.
There was John Petrie, and
was
there was
like-
Matthias.
I was
and
like-
Matthias was crusty.
I was like, let me like come and work for you. You don't have to pay me. I just want to see, how things are done. He's like, no, you should never work for free. I was like, all right, then you could pay me. He's like, no, you don't know what you're doing.
well, they threw Guy Fieri out one time. Guy Fieri was interested in featuring him on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And he came in on a Sunday, and the way the story was related to me is like he refused to drink. Like they wanted him to have a runner, and he was like, I don't know if he was in a sober phase, but Guy Fieri drinks. He drinks. So, and like that pissed him off right away. And then he wanted all the proprietary stuff. He wanted to know, how do you do this? What's in the burger? This and
We're not
that.
gonna do that.
And they just told him to get the F out. And they'd never been featured on Diners, Drives, and Dives. And that was after the Oprah thing. Which,
They were like back the same year, GQ #1 burger in the country, and
Right.
Oprah. I think they're fine.
I think they're still doing
Yeah.
great.
Oh,
And
no,
they
I
just
mean-
celebrated 50 years. So good for them. Let's take our third break, and then we'll have the final battle about Houston's, which we haven't done on the air yet.
Love Houston's.
I am not a fan. It's no all rules and you're not right. That's their and my other thing is the new tagline should be Houston's, we have a problem, because there's always problems at Houston's. All right, let's take that third break, and we'll come back and wrap up this edition from Blue Collar in Miami. For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boy's Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boy's has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fatboy. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years, Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites, and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a good... All right, we are back at Blue Collar with Chef Danny Serfer. He also has Mignonette downtown Miami. This one here is in the Nemo neighborhood, 6789 Biscayne Boulevard. Was it? Mimo?
Miami Modern.
I always
I don't know what it's called.
butcher pronunciation. I always count it like Mimo, like fine. And then I always used to say that things were a meme instead of a meme. So
No, that was dumb.
you know why? Because I belong in Century
Yeah,
Village.
You do. with
We
your
got
sugar.
your complimentary sweet and low and
Thank you.
Splenda
I'm
right
gonna-
here.
You know, I don't even have the fake sugars anymore, but I will take a couple of these home.
Oh my God, you would do that, Mayo.
You know
No.
what could be polarizing?
What's
I
that?
don't know. I'm surprised it's not on there. Tarts.
Oh,
Tarts. I'm surprised no one brought up Tarts as a polarizing.
Tarts could be. Yeah, it again, like 200 people chimed in, and I kept adding when I said, "Oh yeah, that's valid." Tarts, New ownership. They've cleaned it up.
love Tux.
And I used to be afraid of anything fried there because I don't think they changed the oil since 1960 something. But the new owners have, and I'm hearing much better things about it. But you're right. Tarks
I
is one
love
of those.
my mom ate Tarks almost every day when she was pregnant with me.
Oh,
So
wow.
like I go
That
back,
explains it.
I go back with Tarks.
What'd she have? The clams or the
No,
wings?
the wings.
The wings.
The wings.
All right. I'm not a fan of their wings. I go across the street to my man.
Shenanigans has great wings too.
Thank you, because
Yeah.
Pat Utter is one of our
I
sponsors.
love
Shenanigans
I love
has really good
Shenanigans.
wings.
And we're going back there for Wednesday pregame Stanley Cup
Yep,
pregame show.
You know who I used to go to Shenanigans with, who I know loves it? Josh Gad.
Oh,
I grew
okay.
up with him.
Really?
Oh, you like? Okay, you went to
and-
date. You went to
I went to
university.
university school, and Josh Gad loved Shenanigans.
Those wings are great, and now he's got only the one location on Federal Highway. And I was in last week. I'm 2-0 for Panther games at Shenanigans,
I know,
so
you
it's
gotta
my
keep
good
going.
luck charm. But he
Right.
does those
That's
not
such
just the black and grilled wings. Now he has what they call the shack and grilled wings, where you would love it because it's got sweet heat. It's like it's a grilled wing,
I'm only Buffalo exists for wings.
grilled wing.
I
Try
don't-
it sometime.
I don't recognize any other wing.
It has
besides
a little
fried
bit of
buffalo.
honey and it has hot
That's
pepper
why you
flakes,
guys-
the red
These
pepper
guys are
flakes.
very
No.
similar.
There's only
Where he
fried.
has
There's
these
only
rules.
fried buffalo. All the other wings.
Would you
don't-
try it? Would you
no.
go in with an
If I went
open
with you and you
mind and
had
an
them,
open
I would
palate?
take a bite of one,
It was so good last
but I
week.
would never order it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's Shenanigans. All right. Houston's. Let's have it out. Here's my beef with Houston's. Okay. You have full liquor now, right?
Mhm.
You have a bar and a bartender and presumably some provisions and mixers.
Yeah.
If I came in, let's say right now, today is Monday,
Yes.
Monday for lunch, and I'd say, can I have a Bloody Mary? What would you say?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know what they say at Houston's?
No. Yeah.
No, you're saying they say no, which
yeah,
is
he's
correct.
saying that they know.
It's not
They
on their it's not on their cocktail menu.
It is. They only do it for their Sunday brunch service because they have their specialty made mix.
And
And if you can't make a freaking Bloody Mary on a Tuesday, it was President's Day with
that's like me
It
going
was a
into Rainbow
holiday.
Palace and being like, "Can I have a chicken parm? Can you make chicken parmesan?"
no, it's
Yeah,
not.
no, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Chicken parm at a Chinese restaurant is not analogous to
Asking
a
for-
Bloody Mary at lunch service on a holiday at a bar.
Asking a restaurant to give you something that's not anywhere on their menu.
It's on their menu,
It's
on
not
their
on their
Sunday
menu.
brunch menu.
Okay, and
But
what day
it's
were you
not
there?
like
And what
an-
day were you there?
It was Monday.
Was it Sunday?
It was a
Were you there on
Monday
Sunday?
holiday.
So it wasn't Sunday.
It wasn't
was not
Sunday.
So it was not
Sunday.
on the menu.
But
So
you
it was
show me
not
a
on the menu.
bartender that can't get tomato
I
juice or
have-
clamato and mix
Okay.
it with some
All right, look,
Worcestershire.
I have
Make it to
I
order.
have pancakes on the menu every
Right.
Saturday and Sunday for a brunch.
Right.
And on Monday, I have flour, I have buttermilk, and I have eggs and butter.
But
Can
you won't make it.
But you can't get a pancake on
I
Monday.
wouldn't order. I wouldn't come in if
Same
I don't
thing.
see a pancake on the menu. I'm not ordering
The
it.
same thing.
But a bar-
you just lost your own argument. You just said I wouldn't come in if I didn't see it on the menu. It's not on the menu.
I
on
didn't say I
Monday.
wouldn't come in. I just think
I wouldn't order it.
it's not
on the
an
menu on Monday.
outlandish request.
Yes,
There's
it
a
is.
difference
It's
between
not on the menu.
bar cocktails and and don't tell me we only make it our certain fancy way on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Any bartender worth his weight in salt should be able
So
to whip together a
Houston's,
Bloody Mary.
Houston's, that makes a lot of sense. Houston's, one of the busiest effing restaurants in all of South Florida and the country, should drop everything. That bartender should drop
You saying
everything.
it's dropping everything?
That
for-
bartender should drop everything he's doing, serving all those customers at that time, to go make Mike Mayo a Bloody Mary out of shit that they have in the
That's
restaurant.
exactly what they should do.
Out of
And
shit
you know
that they
what?
have in the restaurant, but that is not really
They're
prepared
saying-
And you
ready
know what I
right
said?
there.
I said, "You know who I am." No, I didn't say that.
That is the same thing as asking us to make you a pancake on Monday.
I have a lot of issues with them because did you go on their website and look at all their rules? Which
I
I'm sure
I almost took a job with them years ago.
maybe you
and
should have.
I messed it up. Why I didn't? Otherwise, I wouldn't have this or anything.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-month-long interview process, and like
Do they check your bowel movements too?
there's like you have like a bunch of phone interviews and a bunch of in-person interviews, and the final step is they take you to New York or some store, and they have you work in the kitchen and the front of the house and do it all. They are so consistent for a reason because that's what they pride themselves on.
Right, consistency.
Like a lot of restaurants, when they say center cut, they're full of it. They're
Right.
cutting you end to end on the loin. Houston's, when they
Look,
say
they're-
center cut, this and this,
Right.
they sell back to the staff
They're
at cost.
Their French dip sandwich is excellent.
Their everything is excellent.
I've never had a bad French dip sandwich there, but it's the attitude I could do without. And all their we had some horror stories posted on the group, like a group of 5. We're like, oh, we're sorry, we don't seat groups. They have bigger booths, and they're like, this party was willing to squeeze in and not complain, and they were celebrating like a grandmother's
No,
80th birthday,
we wouldn't do that
and
either.
they threw him right out.
No, we wouldn't do that either. We're not letting you squeeze in to a smaller table when you're more people. And even if you promise us you're not going to complain, because one, you are.
You will, yeah.
And two, then what are their options there? Put you in a smaller table so you are going to complain, or kick you out where you're going to complain. It's a lose-lose. It's rather, you know what? They don't need that kind of business.
I'm sorry, they're not in the hospitality business. They're in the no business. I call them the house of no.
When you go, if that's true, you go there and you tell them this is not cooked properly. What happens versus your experience at Moderano? They replace. You could take one bite out of that steak and they'll bring you a whole new one.
Right. Okay.
They're not just going to bring it up or down to 10.
I will give you that, and they do have excellent iced tea service, as our man Evan
Their
Darnell.
iced tea is excellent.
Yeah. Oh,
Look at him. Look how happy I am.
They're
Evan
iced tea.
Darnell, the same thing.
like,
Our
"Where
guy
about
with the
iced
red
tea?"
meat lovers club. He says unparalleled iced tea service.
Their iced tea is, and that glass
Great.
they use for it. very good.
Unparalleled iced tea service. Not so much with the Bloody Marys, though. That's it.
And the
Sundays
one- The one on Atlantic by 26 Degree has great fried shrimp, or at least they used to.
and you know what? I don't want to go off on it anymore. But
Oh my god! And the one in Bell Harbor with the deviled eggs, so good.
I used to go to the Valhalla one. I've sworn them off after 2 really negative experiences at the Pompano one. So the Pompano one,
the Pompano one, I think, is also.
they think their stuff don't stink.
No, the Pompano one, I would say, I think, is not the most celebrated one. The
No.
most celebrated ones are Aventura and Gables.
Oh, so where's your consistency now, Mr. Consistent?
no, they're still consistent, but I think, look, okay, if you can, they've been in,
we should have been lawyers.
if they can survive and thrive like they have in Aventura,
Oh,
They do,
now
like,
Harbor.
in
that's
Aventura
ridiculous.
Each
for
location
30 years,
does 15 million a year. I
more,
hear something.
more than that.
Yeah.
If the Aventura location with that clientele can survive for over 30 years doing it their way, they are blessed. They are like, there's not like, do you know what the Aventura clientele is? I do. I dealt with them for a very
You know
long time.
what?
at
One
Chef
more
Allen's.
reason why I don't like them, because they're weasels. Because you know how it works. You're considered a chain in this country if you have more than 20 units
Oh, you're
operating.
going to say the myth of they changed all the names of the restaurants so they get rid of the calorie count for the spinach dip.
Exactly. So
And?
so what's the the overriding group is called what? They start with
Hillstone.
Rutherford Grill. Yeah,
Hillstone.
Hillstone Group. They have like 18 different brand names because they don't want to ever have restaurants exceed 20 so that they don't have to have calorie counts on the menu. Do you realize a federal law is that if you are a chain of more than 20 units, you have to put calorie
But
counts
if
in
you're
fact.
less, you don't.
Right. So
Oh
they've
my God. Are you
they've
serious?
shrewdly evaded that. And I used to go to Rutherford Grill when they were when it first started in Napa Valley. It was a great place, Rutherford, California, Rutherford Grill. Absolutely fantastic. And then now they have not just Houston's, they have Hillstones and this and that, and they have like
There's a
20
bunch of different
things.
names,
They're
yeah.
weasels. They're weasels, and they won't make you a Bloody Mary.
They won't make you something.
Let
that
me
is
take
not
my
listed
sweet
on
and low
their menu.
and my sugar.
So I dealt with this personally a lot when I was at Chef Allen's, which was like a New World Cuisine, it was called at the time. So we had like a lot of like Caribbean fish and like
Caribbean.
influences and Southeastern Asian flavors and things like that. And there was this one gentleman that would come in all the time, and he would want angel hair with spicy tomato sauce. And Alan, God bless him, being the great owner and hospitality person that he is, would make me make it, and I would. And as a kitchen person back then, like a line cook or a chef de cuisine, it drove me nuts,
Right.
you know. And I have never asked my guys to do things like that. When you come in and you're like, I know you have like flour and buttermilk and eggs back there. Can I have a pancake on Wednesday night for dinner?
See, I don't. All right, I'm not.
But it was a Monday holiday, so they should have brunch stuff, even though they don't serve brunch on Monday holidays, like a lot of other restaurants. But a lot of other
I'm
restaurants.
not
do.
asking for a pancake. I'm asking for.
You're asking for
GD Bloody Mary.
It's the same thing.
And
Yes.
I don't need their special.
They have all their
just-
they have all the ingredients. They have Worcestershire. They have tomato
Yeah,
juice. They have all
it
that
all.
stuff. Yes. Then they would have had to have this bartender go open up all that shit.
Oh God, that
measure
would
it
have been
out.
such a.
Measure it out because they're so consistent.
I don't even care about the measurement. Just I could have.
But they're not
When
worried
you
about
think if
it.
I
why
asked
don't you
for
just
a
go?
vodka
Why don't you
and
bring your own
tomato?
tomato juice and be like, I
I'll
brought my
bring
own tomato
Bloody
juice.
Mary
Can I
mix.
please?
Just give me a vodka. I'll put in the Bloody Mary mix on my own. All right. We're
Wow.
getting nowhere on this. But
It's okay. He's allowed to like it. You're allowed to not like it. It's fine.
good minds
It
can
happens.
disagree. What
No,
we do agree
no,
on,
I have never heard of Houston's being polarized. Like Houston's and La Spada,
I'm
I've
sending
never
you-
heard of being polarized.
I'm going to send you some
Send
of
it
the
to me.
posts.
Send it to me.
Yes.
I will go and
And it's
fight
not
everyone.
all old
I will
women.
go and fight all the people on the Let's Eat South Florida myself. Have them flood
Ooh.
my Facebook page.
That
I
would be
will
so
fo-
fun. Just
La
let him
Spada-
be Mayo for a
La
day.
Spada and Houston are not polarizing. Everybody effing
You know,
loves
and
them.
we talk. So, I guess it boils down to a philosophical debate of what is hospitality, and like Alan Susser, God bless him, really nice guy, and it
The
sounds like
greatest.
he understands the meaning of hospitality.
But
is
yes, but
do
can
what
you go
want
too
to-
far? And like, yes, hospitality, but maybe the guest should take some responsibility too and not go crazy asking for pancakes Wednesday during dinner
would-
and Bloody Marys when it's not on the menu.
I'm not asking for a pancake dinner. I'm asking
Like
for a Bloody Mary on a
maybe
holiday
guests should
lunch.
respect the menu and order what's on it.
I respected their no by saying, okay, in that case, just bring me tap water and unlimited tap water and see how much that enhances your bottom line. You
And they're
Houston-
suffering. They're so sad
they
about
really
it. They're
miss it.
I
like,
know, and that's the thing. They're impervious because they have gotten too big for their britches and they've lost track of what hospitality means.
we will make you a Bloody Mary or anybody.
I
a
think I
Bloody
got a
Mary
shot of
anytime.
getting
Yes,
them on board as
you
a sponsor.
are exactly. That's what's interesting is you
But we have Bloody Mary on the menu all the time.
and they don't, and that's fine.
Our mix is pretty good too, actually.
All right. Danny, thank you. We went into
Very
serious
spirited-
overtime, but this was
spirited
great.
edition.
This was some great debate. This is good food
It's a
talk,
lot of fun.
and of
Thank
course,
you for
great
having me.
food.
And the food's fantastic here. It
We-
truly
I,
is.
I mean, that big ragu is brilliant.
That
Eat
sandwich is
chicken
spectacular.
tender sandwich, and I'm not the biggest cheesesteak fan. I think it's Philadelphia's second best sandwich.
Oh, you like the
besides-
broccoli raw?
Yeah,
you
the
love the
broccoli
broccoli
raw pork. What do you think of that?
I mean, my family's from Philly. I spend a lot of time there. I like a great cheesesteak
This
better
is a
than a
great
great
cheesesteak.
roasted pork, but
Right.
I do like both.
Yours is
Can I
excellent.
have something that's going to be controversial for the Let's Eat South Florida contingent?
Okay, you gonna post it later? Or I
No,
can
I'll say it
post
right now so
Okay.
they can start coming at me now. So all of our sandwiches for lunch during the summer are buy one, get one free.
Right.
Our Corbin sandwich, which is our brisket sandwich,
Right.
is not part of that because that's listed under entrees and not sandwiches.
because there's two of them, so it's almost like you're getting
Mine
a
already
burger
are,
one
but
sandwich.
I'm sure we're going to get a
Oh,
lot
they're
of-
gonna complain.
They're gonna, yes, I'm
You
sure
know
we're
they're
get
gonna
heat for
complain.
it.
I mean, you know.
But to those people that want to complain about that, you can take all those
Well-
Splenda and sugar in the raw packets home. You want.
treat like Rascal
They're
House.
great. All right, there you have it. Blue Collar, your place for summer specials. We've got the all-day happy hour, and we've got the Monday to Friday BOGO sandwiches during the lunch hours, 12 to 5. I love this place. I love this man, and
Thank
you should come check it out too. And I'm gonna say this: I would 100 times out of 100, I'm coming here over Houston.
Oh,
So that's it.
I don't even know if I'm coming here 100 out of 100 over Houston's.
You love Houston. Yeah, I'm not a big Houston fan.
I
All
used
right.
to have schedule my days off at Chef Allen's to line up with when Houston's had chicken tortilla soup.
Okay, you're a sick person. And what days do they have soup? Is it only between the
I don't know if
hours
they
of
do it.
12:03
I don't even know if they
p.m.
do it anymore. But
and 1:17?
It used
And
to
if
be
you get there at
Tuesday,
1:18,
Wednesday.
they say no soup for you.
100%.
That's
I mean,
it.
That's our thing.
Tomorrow we'll be at Burton's, the nice
Well,
place to
Yeah,
go,
they do whatever
where they do
want.
accommodate you.
Yep.
And until then,
it's like how come Mike Mayo didn't write about this restaurant? He only wrote about the other restaurant. Well, because that's the one he wrote about. That was on the menu that day. That restaurant, not the other restaurant.
oh man. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy every sandwich. Half price. BOGO.